The 22nd of June, 1941. Without warning, Nazi Germany launches Operation Barbarossa, invading its former ally, the Soviet Union. Hitler's goal is to destroy communism and seize Lebensraum, meaning living space, in the East. The Red Army collapses, and millions of Soviet soldiers are captured, starved, and brutalized. One of those captured by the Wehrmacht, the German armed forces, is a teenage Jewish boy, born in Germany, who had escaped Nazi persecution by fleeing to the Soviet Union. To survive, he claims to be a Volksdeutscher, an ethnic German, and the lie saves his life. He becomes a beloved interpreter for the German army, takes part in the interrogation of Stalin's son, and is later sent to a Hitler youth school, where he falls in love with a girl who despises Jews. Every shower, every medical exam, every intimate moment with his Nazi girlfriend is, for him, a potential death sentence. His name is Solomon Perel. Solomon Perel was born on the 21st of April, 1925 in the city of Peine, then part of the Weimar Republic, which was the name given to the German government from 1918 to 1933. His parents, Azriel and Rebecca Perel, had fled Russia in 1918 and settled in Germany, hoping for a better future. They ran a small shoe store and raised Solomon, his two older brothers, and his older sister in a traditional Jewish household. Yiddish was spoken inside the house, while the children used German at school and in public, trying to blend in with the local population. On the 30th of January 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. The rise of the Nazi regime marked the beginning of a dark chapter for Germany's Jews, including the Perel family. When the Nazis came to power, they quickly introduced discriminatory laws targeting Jewish citizens. Jews were removed from civil service, banned from professions like law and medicine, and pushed out of public life. In 1935, the Nuremberg laws stripped Jews of their citizenship and forbade marriages between Jews and non-Jews. Jewish children were bullied in schools, and Jewish-owned businesses were boycotted and vandalized. Anti-Jewish propaganda filled the streets and airwaves, and violence became more frequent. For families like the Perels, life in Germany was becoming increasingly unbearable. Solomon, the only Jewish student in his class, was soon expelled from school, something he later described as the most painful experience of his childhood. Not long after, Nazi thugs attacked and vandalized his father's shoe store. Fearing for their safety, the family made the difficult decision to leave Peine. Solomon's parents were of Eastern European heritage and decided in 1936 to move the family to the Polish city of Łódź, where their relatives lived. The Second World War started on the 1st of September 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. Poland soon found itself fighting a two-front war when it was invaded from the east by the Soviet Union on the 17th of September. Warsaw officially surrendered to the Germans on the 28th of September, and one day later, in accordance with a secret protocol of their non-aggression pact, Germany and the Soviet Union partitioned the country. In the chaos that followed, Solomon and his family were forced into the Łódź ghetto, where thousands of Jews were confined in inhumane conditions. Hoping to save their sons, Solomon's parents sent him and his older brother to the Soviet-occupied zone in the east. Before they left, Solomon's father told him never to forget he was a Jew. His mother only said, "Go, you have to live." Along the way, Solomon was separated from his brother and ended up in a Soviet orphanage in the city of Grodno, located in today's Belarus. There, he lived among other displaced youths and was soon drawn into communist ideology, joining a Marxist-Leninist youth group. For a while, he believed he had found a place where he could survive, but everything changed in June 1941, when Germany invaded the Soviet Union. On the morning of the attack, the children in the orphanage were abruptly awakened and told to flee. Solomon ran, heading toward Minsk, but was captured on the way by the Wehrmacht. Forced to stand in line with other refugees, he overheard that Jews and communists were being selected and executed. He quickly dug a hole with his foot and buried his documents, including his Soviet Youth Organization card. When questioned, he claimed to be an ethnic German named Josef Perel, who had lost his papers. The soldier believed him, and this lie saved his life. Fluent in foreign languages, Solomon was absorbed into the 12th Panzer Division and assigned the role of a Russian-German interpreter. During this time, he also took part in the interrogation of Stalin's captured son, Yakov Dzhugashvili. Solomon was often called Yup by his Nazi comrades, and over time grew close to some soldiers in the unit. One night, while taking a shower, he was attacked by a German army doctor who tried to rape him. During the fight, the doctor discovered that Solomon was circumcised and realized he was Jewish. However, he chose not to report it, likely fearing that revealing the incident would expose himself as a homosexual. Over time, they became friends, and the doctor kept the secret until he was killed in action. Later, Captain Joachim von Münchow and his wife even offered to adopt Solomon. When the unit was transferred from Leningrad to Estonia, von Münchow insisted to send him to Germany for safety. Thanks to family connections, von Münchow's niece was married to Baldur von Schirach, the head of the Hitler Youth. Solomon received VIP treatment. He was placed in an elite Hitler Youth boarding school in the city of Braunschweig, located just 25 kilometers from his hometown. At the school, Solomon continued to hide his Jewish identity and lived under constant fear of exposure. He participated in lectures on Nazi racial theory, where students were taught how to identify Jews. During one of these sessions, a racial studies teacher publicly identified Solomon as a member of the so-called Aryan Baltic Eastern race, not as a Jew. This misidentification provided him with a brief and dangerous sense of relief. In order to protect himself, he avoided communal showers or entered wearing underwear to conceal his circumcision. During this time, he became close to a girl named Leni Lach, a member of the Nazi League of German Girls, and developed feelings for her. But the relationship soon revealed the deep divide between their worlds. On one occasion, Solomon and Leni visited a Jewish cemetery and discovered that the tombstones had been dug up. Leni took pleasure in the destruction, cursing the Jews and saying that they did not deserve to have tombstones. Solomon remained silent, hiding the pain behind the role he was forced to play. On a different occasion, Solomon visited his girlfriend when she was not home. Her mother invited him in and then asked him whether he was really a German. Taken aback by the question and feeling the need to unload his burden, Solomon confessed he was Jewish. Mrs. Lach was very sympathetic and promised to keep the secret, but warned him not to tell Leni since she would not understand. The pressure to conform and survive created a deep internal conflict. During the day, Solomon fully performed the role of a loyal Hitler Youth, shouting slogans and singing anti-Semitic songs. At night, he was overwhelmed by memories of his family and cried silently. Over time, he began to absorb aspects of the Nazi worldview. Years later, he admitted that he once believed in German superiority and remembered feeling genuine sorrow when Germany lost the Battle of Stalingrad. In December 1943, he was granted a short leave and traveled to Łódź, hoping to find his parents. Near the ghetto, he believed he saw his mother standing at the gate, but with German soldiers nearby, he dared not speak. For nearly 2 weeks, he returned to the same place, hoping to see her again, but she never appeared. As the war drew to a close, Solomon was drafted into a Hitler Youth anti-tank unit and sent to the Western Front. On the 20th of April, 1945, the day before his 20th birthday, he was captured by the US forces. Still dressed in his Hitler Youth uniform, he was briefly held and then released, considered a minor by the Americans. The Second World War in Europe ended on the 8th of May, 1945. After the war, Solomon briefly served as an interpreter for the Red Army. In the following months, he searched for surviving relatives and uncovered the devastating truth. His mother had been murdered in a gas van. His father had died of starvation in the Warj ghetto, and his sister had been shot during a death march. He eventually found his brother Yitzhak, who had survived in the Soviet Union and was living in Munich. He also learned that his other brother, David, had survived and made it to mandatory Palestine. In July 1948, Solomon left Europe and sailed to Haifa, in the newly declared state of Israel. There, he joined the Israel Defense Forces and fought in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. After completing his military service, he became a businessman. In 1959, he married a woman named Dvorsha, and the marriage produced 2 children. Years later, Solomon published his memoir, I Was Hitler Youth Solomon, recounting his extraordinary wartime experiences. His story was adapted into the 1990 film Europa, Europa, which sparked controversy in Germany. Despite the objections of many German filmmakers, the German movie industry refused to submit the work for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Film. Nevertheless, it received international acclaim, winning the Golden Globe for Best Foreign Language Film and earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay in 1992. In his later life, Solomon returned to Germany to speak with his former comrades from the Hitler Youth, some of whom he still considered friends, as well as with young neo-Nazis. Some who listened to him began to question their beliefs, and he hoped to reach them before they embarked on a path of hatred from which there was no return. When Solomon Perel died on the 2nd of February 2023 in Tel Aviv in Israel, he was 97 years old.
Thanks for watching the World History Channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss our next episodes. We thank you, and we'll see you next time on the channel.